Good morning, friends and family. It's been a few days. Hi, Dad. Thanks for reminding me to make sure I get these in. Yes, I know. I haven't done one in a couple days. Anyways. So, good morning, everyone. So, what's been going on? Well, let me see. I think the last time I posted, we were dropping off near Chicago. And then we needed to go to the Gary terminal to have our A. There's an A maintenance and a B maintenance. The B maintenance happens like every 50,000 miles. That's an oil change. The A maintenance happens like every between 75 and 100,000 miles. Well, we hit our 75,000 miles in the truck, so the A maintenance is a lot more involved. It checks everything. It checks brakes, airlines, tires, you name it. It's a whole DOT inspection list that they go through, and it's a good half day for it. So it takes about six hours, and then extra if they find anything needs to be repaired. So we rolled in there the day before yesterday about 3 o'clock. So I was pretty sure they weren't going to get to us until yesterday. But I guess that shop's open until 8, so it was a possibility. But by like 6 o'clock, we knew that they weren't going to get to us. So what we did is we went ahead and got a hotel, went over and stayed the night in the hotel, got good rest, checked out at noon, came back, and then we were at the terminal, and they must have been doing some maintenance on the app that we have where we can check the status of our truck in the shop. Generally, when we're in the Phoenix shop and the truck is done, they will call you and say, hey, your truck is done. Not all terminals do that. That's why I like the Phoenix shop, because they're pretty good. But anyhow, so we sat there, and because they were doing maintenance on the phone app that we can use to check the status, I wasn't able to see it. So about 4 p.m. Central Time is I went in and said, hey, just checking on the status of the truck. Oh, it's done. So I don't know how long it had been done, but then we went over to the truck. So when the truck is in the shop, we can't access anything in the truck because we're not allowed to go into the shop area. Alex was going to have to drive, and he was getting sleepy. He'd already been awake since like 11, and then he was going to have to drive all night. So, and we wanted to get laundry done, and we wanted to finish our 34-hour reset. We were literally like within a couple hours of Alex being done. So Alex came to the truck and took a nap. I grabbed the laundry and went back into the terminal, and I did the laundry, so it gave him a couple hours to lay down. And then we got handed a load that was going to where we were picking up in Davenport, Iowa, and then going to Marion, Idaho, which is like right there about Boise. Okay, so I was like, okay, that's okay, but I wanted to check to make sure that, because it wasn't a team load. Every time we come off of either home time or shop, the regionals try to snag us for some solo loads or something. So the last time that happened, we were in Florida, and I talked to the team planner. He's like, do not accept any loads unless it comes from the team planners, because sometimes it'll get us in an area where it's very difficult to get us back out of. Also, it doesn't help the team, the group that does teams. So, you know, they all have their metrics they have to meet, and when their drivers are off doing these other things, it's not helping them meet their freight requirements, whatever. So I'm like, okay, so I saw that come through, and I called up and I talked to the team planner. I said, hey, this is what's going on. I was told to, before I accept any of these regional loads, to call in and check with you. It is Easter weekend, so normally we pick up a Ross on the East Coast and go to the West Coast, or we pick up on the West Coast and come to the East Coast. That's our jump back and forth. But Ross is closed this weekend. wasn't a Ross load. So I was talking with him, and he said, yeah, go ahead and take that load because there's a lot of freight in Portland. And so from Boise, we're picking up another load that's going to Portland. So it'll set us up pretty good to get back across to where the freight is, and it'll get us through the weekend, through the Easter holiday. So, you know, that's pretty good. Plus, the nice thing is my dad sent a message, or asked Mom to send a message saying that us kids needed to be there for Easter dinner. Well, I won't be there for Easter dinner, but because we will be in Boise, they'll be able to stop by the TA there. And I don't know if Country Pride will be open, but it's going to be in between our loads because we're going to get there about 3 o'clock, and we don't pick up our next load until 11 p.m. So we'll be able to spend a little time with Mom and Dad, which is super awesome the way that worked out. So we could even probably come to the house and hang out for a bit, depending. Alex may need sleeping so that he can drive once we pick up the other load at 11. But we'll see. We'll at least be able to see Mom and Dad, so that's good. So anyhow, that's the plan so far. Sounds like we got a good setup. Hi, sister. Sounds like we have a good setup headed back west to where the freight is. We got a fresh 70 clock going, so we'll be able to go a couple of good long route runs before we have to sit for another reset. Just kind of make that money. We're kind of last couple checks we got low because we had that 4 days off, and then with those little short runs, we don't make much money on those short runs because you're sitting and waiting for them to load and unload, and you're doing a lot of waiting around instead of rolling. And really, where you're making your money is when you're rolling. So, anyways, and then sister is working on getting us appointments for a vaccine. And so hopefully, once she can get that nailed down, then we'll be headed into Phoenix for a couple days, because I'm going to also schedule our doctor appointments for follow-ups during the same time, so we can kind of knock everything out. At some point, we're going to have to do a home time because we both need to come back in for a new sleep study so we can get more supplies. Both of our prescriptions are expired, so to get more CPAP supplies, we have to go in for another sleep study to check our sleep whatevers, yeah, our things. So anyhow, we're both doing good. We're both healthy. We're washing our hands, social distancing, and wearing our masks. Even in all these states, is so weird. I guess wearing a mask for a year, it feels. You know how it was when we first started wearing the mask? How it was weird before it was a mandate, how some people chose to wear the mask, but the majority of people weren't. And so it kind of felt weird when you saw somebody wearing a mask. Now I feel the opposite. I feel weird when I see people not wearing a mask. It makes me feel like it's weird. Why are you not wearing a mask? Compared to a year ago going, why are you wearing a mask? It's a little flu. Before we really knew what was up. So, yeah, we will continue to wear a mask. Our choice is to follow the CDC guidelines to stay safe. Even after we get our vaccine, as long as they are suggesting that we do that, we want to do our part and make sure that we're keeping people safe. And, you know, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So we will continue to wear masks as long as that is suggested by the CDC to help do our part in the pandemic and getting us through this. So anyhow, I just wanted to drop in this morning, give everybody an update, tell everybody Happy Easter. It's beautiful here. It's windy, but it's beautiful. The sun is out. I don't see any weather events along our track, so that's pretty good. I mean, we'll run into wind when we get to Wyoming. That's just Wyoming, right? But I didn't see any high wind warnings as of right now. So no need to try to bypass that area. So I think we'll be okay. Anyhow, happy Easter, everybody. And I picked up this morning, I told the lady this morning, I said, have a happy Easter. She said, you too. I said, yeah, I'm going to be looking for Easter eggs on the road. So if I see any Easter eggs, I'm going to stop and pick them up. Anyways. Alright guys, I'm out of here. I love you. Be safe. Please do your part. Social distance, mask up, wash your hands, and I'll talk to you soon.